sudden has disdain for, all these light-skinned chicks. It ain't really that you didn't like that. It was that you couldn't get it. Yeah. And so now all of a sudden you've warped your perception of, I never want to be that person. And so as a result, I grind hard. And luckily, like I said, the women that are in my life or the women that have been in my life, they've understood it, so they make it easier, but I'm not going to pretend like they solved it. They did not solve it. And so I think we have to get money and until society, until the nuke hits. When Donald Trump becomes, no, I'm joking.
Oh my God.
And the nukes hit and we all like desolate. We're not going to care about money no more. It's going to be about who can kill hams.
I think that what here's the thing though, Isaac. It's like, you can be in a relationship and everything is good from the standards of the financial contribution. When he, for whatever reason, the economy or a change in plans and careers, when you decide I don't have this job anymore, I'm not bringing home this money anymore, it changes. She could be 150% in your corner. But something happens to that man who no longer is that person, that man he used to be, because he's defined by society standards of, I'm bringing home this paycheck, I'm making this deposit into the account. And it changes. It may not ever change for her, but it changes for you, right? It changes for you. Anybody else wanted the value of a man?
What makes this dangerous to me is that we're talking about the economy. An unstable economy where anybody could lose their job at any moment, whether it's a man or a woman. So this whole paycheck thing and all the bring home the money and who's making the most, that's pointless. Because both y'all could be unemployed next week, and then what do?
Yeah, but I think that here's the thing, though, Kevin. I think that women, we are defined by so many other things. I'm going to still be a mom. I'm going to still be the daughter. I'm going to still be the girlfriend. We have all these other roles that define us. Mm-hmm. That the men, when they lose that thing that defines them, it shifts, it changes.
That's if you let it define you. And then we get to something called expectation. That's the one word we haven't used here is expectation. There are so many unrealistic expectations when it comes to men and women these days versus potential versus, I've been blessed like Isaac that the women that I've dealt with, they knew who I was and what type of man I was from the get-go. They saw my value early. But I've also had women who didn't even see their own value, so how are they going to see mine? That's the most, I hate to say, but that's most of today.
Yeah.
Is really the way it is. I
think that's with most people, though, too, right?
Well, yeah, I think with most people, period. Otherwise, we wouldn't have two people, lawyers and psychologists. I'm telling the truth. That's why divorce is so high and everybody's going to see a counselor. But for me, I've been in the music industry probably most of my life. So I've had very interesting situations when it comes to relationships. I've been on the road with people like Brian McKnight, Tyrese, Eric Benet, so.
Keep going.
So for me, it was very difficult for me to determine which women were, what, and, when you talk about the whole, twosomes and threesomes, I done had eightsomes.
Oh, wow. Yeah.
So I've done all of that stuff.
Real.
That's just real. So for me now, I'm at a stage in my life where the value of me as a man, I did all my BS early. I got all that out my system and then some. Yeah. So now I know what my value is as a man, and no one can really determine that for me but me and God. Yeah. That's just how it is for me.
I like that. Very good. Well said. Well said. We over here? Oh, okay.
Well, most of the guys were hitting pretty much on all points. But ladies, understand this. All men want to do any and everything for you to make you happy, okay? But just appreciate us for what we're doing. All we ask for is just appreciate what we are bringing to you. That's all we ask.
I've been hearing that. We've been
straight up.
I get a lot of when I do the Facebook Lives or social media, and men who either come on or they'll inbox that it really is appreciation.
That's all we want. I mean, we would go to bat for you all day long, but just say thank you. Learn what our love language is, and give it to us.
Were you laughing?
Period.
Bakari, are you laughing because you agree or
No, I'm laughing because I agree. So, it's man, woman, so for me, I come from a 2-parent household. My mother and father been married. I'm 41. My mother and father been married 45 years. Grandparents married 65, 67 years. All my aunts, uncles married. My mother always made more than my father. So to me, money wasn't an issue. My mother,
Man thing.
yeah, my mother was a teacher. My father worked at the post office. But my father was the man of the house because he provided, he protected, and he was the professor. Whenever we had a question, he answered it. Whenever something was needed, he gave it to us. So he always made sure we were straight. He always protected us. So I don't think it has anything to do with money. Now, you ask what the value of a man is.
It sounds like though you come from a traditional line, though. It seems.
Yeah. But you ask. But see, here's my point. So you ask what the value of a man is. Look at our society right now. Man has been taken away, and the black community is terrible. Yeah. The value of a man. We need men. We need men to have their roles, and we need women to have their roles, and not try to step on each other's roles, so that we can get back to what we need to be.
Wow. That's some good shit. Yeah.
I think the value of a man is to be that he owes to himself and to a woman is to be the best person he can be at all times. Everybody has different rhythms, and America was raised on these views of being certain ways. So we have traditional views that's from down south that's been spread all abroad, whereas this man has to be the professor, like you said. I'm not saying that's wrong, and that's nothing's wrong with that. But then there's also families where the woman is very vocal and the father is very low key. Like he don't say too much or nothing, and the mother's just everywhere. Not in the bad sense. That's just how she is.
He's more vocal.
And they right and respect, and they balance each other. But allow me to be the best. I want you to be the best that you can be. Yeah. And all I owe is to give you the freedom to do so, but to offer the best that I can of my version of myself at this moment. Because since life does change, and who I am 5 and 20 years is going to change, I got to be the best at that moment who I can possibly be.
Your most authentic self. And that's what Kevin was saying earlier. He's like, look, I started out, this is how I was, and this is what I was into, but I've evolved and I've changed, and now it's something else. So respect me where I am now. Meet me where I am now. Yeah, that's pretty good. You guys, they bringing something right to the table. Yeah. All right, so we shared about some threesomes earlier. We talked about threesomes earlier. Eight-somes. All right. Well,
how does that work? There's so many holes.
I got a threesome for you.
How does that work?
A threesome for you.
How does that work?
So I had this wonderful threesome I brought to the table with the baddies when we did this live podcast event last time. So I thought I'd ask the fellas their threesome.
Wait, hold on. No homo now.
Ready? All right. So we'll start over here. I think we'll start to our right. I'll give you 3 entities, and I want you to tell me, for you, what they have in common. Right? Beyonce, sex, and God.
Just off the top of my head, sex is something that was created by God, I guess, to show the ultimate appreciation for your mate. I really don't see where Beyonce fits in, except the fact that she's sexy. The fact that she's sexy. That's an easy thing. You can say sexy or not.
Beyonce, sex,
so let me just open it up. Which one do you want it?
So Beyonce, sex, and God, power. Absolute power.
Yeah, that's okay.
Beyonce, regardless of what y'all think, is the second most powerful black woman in the world, behind Michelle Obama. No, behind Michelle Obama. Look, here's my point. If Jay-Z cheated on Beyonce, it would destroy the black community. Beyonce will go get a billionaire white dude, and all the black women on the face of the planet be like, well, you need to get out too. I'm going to start dating white dudes. Sex is power because it's a carnal thing. You have to have sex. It'll drive a man to do some crazy stuff because we have to have sex. And of course, God is the ultimate power.
No, well said.
All right, can I go right here?
Yes,
okay.
You got the mic.
Beyonce. She's a Virgo, by the way, and I'm a Virgo. Okay?
I am too.
So Virgos are very disciplined people. Very disciplined. We follow the rules. We're very structured. God comes in the same way with the spirituality. And sex, that's just a bonus.
That's a what?
A bonus.
A bonus. Then how do they tie together?
I won't even look at sex.
Because sex is a part of the equation.
I understand that, but that'll come. I'm connecting Beyonce and God. It's so disciplined.
All right.
You know what? I think when you
Oh, you
deal-
got some? All right, I'll let you go. I'm sorry.
No.
No. You go.
I gotta get it out. I feel like when you deal with all three of them, you like in the holies of holy. Like when you go to, have y'all been to a Beyonce concert?
Yeah.
Don't you feel like it's an experience?
Absolutely.
And like, don't you? I mean, y'all. Have you been to the whole concert? Sometimes you excited, then you cry, then y'all, especially women, like y'all feel what she coming from. No.
You was crying at the Beyonce concert?
You said I'm talking about somebody else. I mean, my, you know,
Oh, right.
my cousin.
You was crying at the Beyonce concert now?
No, I'm saying, but you have all these emotions. It's like an experience. Sex is an experience. Like especially at that climax, it's like you lose all sense of everything. At that moment, it's a moment where it's like I could die right now and I would be okay. You know, yeah. And then same thing with God. Like going to see God. If you had God in your presence, the Holy Spirit's working, the music clapping, the tambourines get to working. Don't you feel like it's an experience? Same thing at Beyonce concert. Same thing we having sex.
Same thing.
That one bad. Okay.
Explain that well.
All right.
Yeah.
So, because a lot of you all said some really good stuff, and the way you broke it down, I was really feeling that one. So I was like, all right, let me see if I can take it in a different direction. I would say formation. Formation, right? In a sense of, to me, a lot of things about life have to do with your alignment. Are you in alignment, right? So, you talk about sex. You and your mate, you and your spouse, you and your wife, your husband, you all have to be sexually compatible. You have to be in formation if you are going to be able to not only enjoy, but if you're going to be able to procreate. If you talk about God, the moment you are out of alignment with God, everything in your life goes to hell, basically, right? So, I mean, it's a necessity that you are in formation with God in order to be able to determine, is this the right path I should be going down, or should I be going down this path? And then, Beyonce, obviously, formation. She put us all in formation, and especially black women. Like, she shut down the internet. She formated everyone on the internet on that Saturday afternoon, and she's a pretty fantastic individual.
Well, you summed it up pretty well. Are we over here?
We're over here. I think for me, the word that I would use is liberation. It's liberating. I would say that, let's talk about God before we get into the sin part of this, because that's what the next two going to be. I think with God, it's a liberating experience. Once you actually, discover God and really give yourself to God, give up all of the things that you carry yourself and just give those burdens to Him. I've never felt freer in my life. Like, I'll just tell them the truth.
Liberation.
That's for that. Sex, I mean, that's pretty self-explanatory. It's a free, liberating experience. When you've had stress during the week, or you've got issues, or y'all done fought, and then there's the make-up sex, and there's something liberating about it.
Yeah.
There's something freeing about it. And then lastly, there's Beyonce. I've never seen anything. I've been in the music industry most of my life. I have never seen a phenomenon like that woman. She makes 50-year-old women act like they're 23. I have never get dressed up, go buy outfits, put on gold makeup, T-shirts, glittery T-shirts, hashtags, and all of this stuff. But there is a sense of liberation that she represents to women.
Yeah, I would agree.
She really represents to women, because I think a lot of times we fail to understand this. Women have been perceived as, in society, as second, for the most part, and powerless behind the man.
Yeah.
Beyonce represents the opposite of that.
Yeah.
She's almost stronger than Jay-Z.
Yeah, well, almost.
You know.
I think she's,
I think if she goes further in her career, then it will be defined that way, I would say. But he